Who is responsible for your high-performing child's higher education? A grown folks conversation with a twist. Let's have a real adult conversation, seasoned, lightly humorous, and with a pinch of truth that might sting, but stay with me. First, let's assume we all genuinely love our children and want them to have the absolute best opportunities possible. Second, let's assume every parent of a high-performing high school student is doing the best they know to prepare for their kid's future. I want to make those two statements up front because what I'm about to say might make you nod your head, shake your head, or even clutch your invisible pearls. But no need to get in your feelings. We're here for solutions, not emotional sparring. The success blueprint we've already mastered. For 20 years, I've watched friends, family, and clients raise hundreds of academically successful children. These kids come from two-parent households, single-parent homes, big homes, small homes, every configuration you could think of. About 60% went to great public schools, another 40% went to fancy private schools with manicured campuses so perfect they look photoshopped. Across the board, these parents invested heavily. Academics, athletics, travel, cultural exposure, the works. They believed that showing their children a better life would help them build one. And you know what? They were right. The blueprint, 95 to 99% successful. These kids, when they did their part, graduated high school with more options than any of the struggling youth the media loves to sensationalize. Success wasn't the exception, it was the trend. Proper preparation produces predictable outcomes. The new success comes with a price tag. Over the last 2 decades, I've watched a different trend that raised an eyebrow, and then both eyebrows. These well-prepared, high-performing kids are getting into very expensive colleges and universities. Parents who paid $3,000 to $8,000 a year back in the day are now staring at acceptance letters from schools costing $25,000 a year on the low end and $90,000 a year on the high end. Total cost of attendance for many of these schools is $100,000 to $400,000. And let's sprinkle in some reality. The average white student graduates with a $34,000 debt with a 9% default rate. The average black grad student graduates with $37,000 in student loan debt, and there's an 18% student default rate. As black students get admitted to more expensive institutions without matching financial preparation, those numbers are only going to go up where default rates are concerned. Parent strategies usually fall into 4 buckets when it comes to college funding. Over the years, parents have consistently used one of these approaches. Have the child perform so well that scholarships pay the bill. This was certainly my path many times over. Number 2, have the child perform so well athletically that sports fund the degree. Number 3, tell the child, we got you through K through 12. College is your financial responsibility. Translation, good luck and Godspeed. And number 4, encourage the child to apply only to schools the parents can't afford or co-sign loans for. Listen, we need new options. The conversation has to evolve. We must prioritize being financially prepared for every possibility, not wishfully hoping that the scholarship fairy floats through the window. Now, I'm not against scholarships. In fact, one of the greatest financial strategies that I have ever seen is the one that I used over and over and over again for the last 30 years. Every semester, freshman, sophomore, and junior semesters, apply for 20 scholarships, no matter what your financial situation is. You do not have to be from any sort of impoverished background to enact that strategy. Why do I say that? Because those 20 scholarship applications, that money is money that is going to take away from what you have to come out of pocket with and what you have to go into debt for. Now, here's the truth that most people overlook. You, and I am talking to you if you are listening to this, you are already 100% successful at what you are truly focused on. If you haven't produced the income needed for college savings, it's because you weren't truly focused on producing that income. Not a judgment, just a fact. Getting a scholarship is wonderful, but having the money to pay for school outright, that hits the soul differently. One of my favorite Jim Rohn quotes, it's not that it costs too much, it's that you can't afford it. It's empowering because it keeps the outcome in your hands, and you should never face a challenge where you think the challenge is outside of you. The real issue, skill gaps, not love gaps. Many of us haven't learned the skills, knowledge, and business acumen needed to consistently generate the kind of money our goals require. Learning to generate significantly more income has a dual benefit. It secures your child's educational future, but number two, it secures your retirement and family stability. And the skills you learn, you can pass to your kids, an inheritance far more value than a co-signed loan, far more valuable than a co-signed loan. Most of us simply don't know how to generate the capital we wish we had. You can't teach what you don't know, and you can't know until you're willing to learn. Success has become so normal, we forgot the struggle. Our children now take for granted options that were barely imaginable one generation ago. Their floor is our ceiling. But for the next level opportunities, we must upgrade our own revenue generating abilities. Not someday, not when things slow down, but now. The good news, not only is it possible to generate more, it's actually probable if you decide to make it a real goal. Most parents fail here, not because they lack ability, but because they never made it a priority. There are 3 steps I believe you could take to becoming a great producer. Number 1, assess. Review your current skills, your network, and identify what you need to learn in order to earn more as a business owner or as a high-income producer. Most of us are not using our skills to the best of our ability and to the most of the income generating ability that our skills truly have. And if you are at the max of your ability for your skills, look at what skills you need to develop that will generate you more income, because we cannot abdicate the necessary effort and responsibility that we need to put in to get ourselves to where we need to be financially. Learn and implement. Do the work. Commit to it. You've succeeded at 90% of the things you actually put effort into in life. This won't be any different. Set goals based on your wants, not your needs. Most people set need-based goals, and shockingly, they meet them. But imagine if you planned your life around what you wanted instead of just your bills. Bills make other companies rich. Goals make you rich, if that's your goal. So who is responsible for paying for your high-performing child's higher education? You are. Not college, not scholarships, not hope, not even your children. You. Because you promised them that if they did the work, you would make sure that they got the opportunity. And you have to show them how you fulfilled your promise and how they can fulfill their promises to themselves and to their children. And once you master producing capital, teach your children to do the same, because colleges don't teach wealth creation for the most part. They teach compliance, memorization, and even a little networking. Wealth must be taught at home. We were built to overcome these financial shortcomings and free our families for generations. Wishing you wealth, wellness, and happiness. Mark Fuller, Manager of Wealth.